See if we can get this guy up. It's kind of an underprivileged bass here for Lake Michigan, but we should be able to catch some a little bigger than that today. Jeff Gustafson here with my buddy Dave Bennett, my tournament partner this weekend for the Sturgeon Bay Open, and we're gonna show you an afternoon of pre-fishing here on Sturgeon Bay.
So what we're doing right now, we're just fishing some of these little rock fingers that are coming out off the bank here. Got probably the warmest water temperatures that we've experienced in Sturgeon Bay in probably 8 or 10 years here. So we got fish in a lot of different stages of the spawn. There's some pre-spawn fish, there's some spawning fish, and even some post-spawn fish. So it's a matter of covering ground. You know, there's going to be some fish. You're going to find some fish bedded up in some certain areas, and then in other places you got some fish stages for pre-spawn. So we're just we like covering a lot of water and you know, looking for those big ones out here. There's lots and lots of fish in this Lake Michigan. I mean, the bass fishing here is just incredible, and you know, just getting on the right pack of big ones at the right time, and you can load the boat in a hurry around here.
Got a little guy, another small bass up shallow, cruising around. On the ever popular green pumpkin tube. Pretty much everybody in the tournament's got one of those tied on a rod, or at least in the boat. That, by the way, doesn't cut it here. That's a really small bass, and you probably catch more 4-pounders here at Sturgeon Bay than little less than 2-pounders like that. But we're gonna get some bigger ones.
So Jeff just showed you the tube, and get this guy back. Another popular option out on the Great Lakes for smallmouth bass is it's just a curly tail grub, and I'm fishing this on a 1/8 ounce little mushroom head. That's kind of the key there. I can swim that. It's a really light jig head, and I can swim it through the shallows without getting too much slime or algae off the bottom on the hook. So it's just a good way to kind of fan cast around and cover water with a little grub like that.
Hopefully this isn't what we catch in the tournament. Won't be good. You know, this is just part of pre-fishing though. We're just fishing a little stretch of new water and just looking and checking and seeing what we find. So far, nothing real great. Not what we're looking for. Not complaining about catching them or anything. I want big ones. I could think of some other lakes where that might be a nice bass, but not at this place. Still not a king, but we're getting better. I actually saw that fish. We're up on a little sand flat here, and I cast it out, and I just could see a brown thing moving towards my bait, and I just went 1, 2, and then boom, he hit it. So that was pretty cool. A little bigger fish.
Yeah. Nope. Not a giant.
Got a double though. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Can't complain about that. Not the big kings, but
Keep going here.
It's definitely nice to get some action. I'm not going to complain about that. I don't think I've caught this many small ones in a row all week. But I think I've gone 3 casts in a row and caught a fish, so I'm happy. It's a little bit windy. We're kind of protected a little bit here, but I just put my talon down on the back of the boat so it holds us in place, and we can just cast at the structure and not be running the trolling motor and spooking the fish.
When you're practicing, you're always trying new things, so I just was catching them on a real light tube, colored tube, and so now I'm just going to try, just because, I'm going to try a little darker colored one, and see if I can further dial in what they want. And another thing is, though, but once I do get that, you know, I decide that they seem to like one color a little better over the other, I'm going to rig up before the actual tournament day. I'm going to have a bunch of these pre-rigged, so, you know, in a situation like that, when a bass rips up your tube, you got a bunch ready to go and you just tie a new one on real quick. So
Followers.
That way I don't have to watch Jeff catching them like crazy while I'm re-rigging.
Jumper. Gotta love the attitude when they fight, man.
They just kind of inhale that thing, don't they?
That's the cool thing about tubes is usually you hook them right here, which is a real high percentage for getting them in the boat. That's where you want to hook them. Pretty much you can see, you know, a good pair of polarized sunglasses is important out here in this clear water, but you can see the edge of the rock where it meets the sand, and that's where, when your bait goes over that edge, that's when you really want to be kind of ready and expect a bite. You know, sometimes these smallmouths there, I just had another 2 little nips in a row, probably small fish. But these smallmouths, when they bite, sometimes you'll get a good smack, and you know, it almost feels like getting punched in the arm. They hit it that hard, and then other times you'll just be swimming it along, and there's just a little mush there or weight. It's just all about you know, kind of the attitude of the fish. When they're really aggressive, then you're going to get that real good smack when they bite it, and other times, if they're a little bit more finicky, maybe they're just coming and slurping it in. Dave's going to get them. That's pretty cool. That's a big black one. He's been up shallow here probably for a little while. That's a little bit more like it.
Yeah. There we go. Another nice smallmouth bass. You know, these fish, they're just so much fun to catch, and you know, they bite a lot of different baits, and there's a lot of different ways you can go about catching them, but you know, they're just a lot of fun. They fight hard, and you know, great looking fish. Just had a little tap when I drug it along that rock edge the last time. Threw it back in there and got it good that time. Ate it. Bass are, you know, they're feeding, and the goby connection in the Great Lake is, you know, really the one thing you got to be aware of out here, because they really key in on eating those gobies. So it's you know, something that the tube imitates, and when you're dragging that bait on the bottom. Gobies don't have a swim bladder, so they always are on the bottom. They scurry along the bottom, and that's how the bass, you know, have learned to feed on them. They crush them against the bottom. So that's a lot of times when you're using a tube, you do get a pretty good solid bite from smallmouth bass, because they're used to crushing those gobies and pinning them on the bottom, and so it's one of the reasons that we use a dark colored tube. And time for a new one. This one's shredded again.
Oh! That was a 4-pounder. I was in the middle of eating a piece of jerky, and I got smashed, and I lost them. I don't like losing them. In there, eh?
Was that my first A?
Yeah, I might have been your first A. Was it on camera?
I don't know. We'll see if I picked it up.
Because there's no proof if it wasn't on camera. We like to throw out the odd A.
Yeah.
For representing, you know.
People say that to me all the time. You don't say A as much. I thought you Canadians said A all the time. I say, well, we do, but
yeah,
when it's appropriate.
Y'all and huh.
We say A when it's appropriate, right, y'all? One thing that we also like doing is, you know, we're fishing these tubes. We use a fluorocarbon leader because it's very abrasion resistant. Lots of zebra mussels in Lake Michigan. So fluorocarbon leader, and then that's tied onto braided line. Okay, we like using a bright colored line. It's very visible. You can see it. A lot of times you'll get a hit. You make a long cast out there, your bait's falling, you get a hit. You can actually watch that line and see it jump. So we like a light colored line. And you know, a long rod, we can make long casts. And the other thing about the braid is on those long casts, you can make a really long cast, and you've got the feel and the power to set the hook at a long distance.
I think I wanted it. Just saw him sitting by a boulder, and again, that's the beauty of that talon. I can wear the little remote around my neck, put it down, and it's deceiving right now. We're kind of back in a bay, but it's actually really windy out, so that wind pushes you around, and then the problem in the shallow water is you run your trolling motor and you spook the fish. There, Davey's got a nice one.
Jeff just caught that last one off a nice little boulder. And when we stopped there, I was looking around, I could see another one off, so I picked up this drop shot rod. And took a little cast over by this other rock and got this guy. And he just pulled off. So wet. Okay, so this rig here, basically what this is, it's a weight, hook tied on in line, weight down below. And so for a specific target, like if you see a nice boulder, rock, or a log or something like that, and you want to have a bait that you can put right beside it, what this does is it allows the weight sits on the bottom, and you can pretty much just lift it up, and you're holding the bait up off the bottom, and it just allows it to, you know, you can keep it there like indefinitely, especially when you have the boat, you know, stationary with a talon or an anchor. And so you can just kind of pick a spot, put a lure there, and just keep it there the whole time until you get a fish.
Not a big one, but eat her up.
this guy was, as you can see, we're kind of up on a big sandy flat with scattered rock on it. This guy is so dark colored, I could just see him cruising by. I made a little cast right in front of him, and he just zipped right over and just hammered it. So it's kind of fun when they're biting like that.
This is supper today on the lake. It's like a 1 pound piece of Rice Krispie square, and our buddy Caleb from Green Bay that we stay with, his girlfriend made this for us, and I haven't got to meet her yet, but when I see her, I'm gonna tell her thanks, because this is some big Rice Krispie cake. It's really good, and that's like a 1 pound piece. Doesn't look that heavy, but there's lots of substance there, and it's gonna fill me up. That and some Mountain Dew. Healthy. Sugar. Real healthy, yeah. Later, man.
Double header.
Double header. That's when you know you got a good spot. You get doubles. Tournament winner.